Thank you so much for talking to us. I mean, it's a third year in a row now. This is another increase. Is this fair on parents?
I think it definitely is not fair on parents, and that's why I would like to emphasize the importance of the role of our school governing bodies. They have the power in terms of the Schools Act to conclude certain agreements with suppliers, and they have the obligation to ensure that they conclude the best agreements and make sure they get the best deals for their parents. Definitely it's not fair on parents to keep paying increased prices for school uniforms every year.
But then as the school governing bodies, have, as you say, the responsibility to negotiate with suppliers. But one thing that the Competition Commission found here was that if there's one supplier, then that is open to abuse because there is no competition at all. So isn't that then also the responsibility of the school governing bodies to get other suppliers?
Definitely, Bongiwe. What is important is for school governing bodies to ensure that they look at different suppliers, to put out tenders before they conclude certain agreements, and definitely to at least after every 3 years to look at the agreements that they have with current suppliers, to see whether it is time for new agreements, whether there are new suppliers entering into the market. So that is definitely an obligation on our school governing bodies to be objective in their decisions and to be responsible. They have a responsibility towards their parents, and the parents should ask the questions from their governing bodies whether they have concluded the most competitive agreement with different suppliers.
And what then becomes your responsibility in this particular debacle, because some of the school governing bodies are not playing ball here?
Definitely. Bongiwe, FETSA's aim is definitely to develop capable SGBs. And that is our aim, together with our Competition Commission, to have advocacies to inform our members what is the requirements of the Competition Act and to inform them, Bongiwe, because as we know, every 3 years parents elect a new governing body. So then we have new parents coming into the picture who might be uninformed. So from FETSA's side, we want to make sure that we have informed school governing bodies and that we develop capable school governing bodies.
How do you police that?
Well, it's quite difficult for FETSA to police something like that. We would like to advise our members on what is the correct procedure, what the Act says. But it's just the Competition Commission who can police something like that. So FETSA's role together with the Competition Commission to make sure that we get the word out, we inform our SGBs, but it's just the Competition Commission who can police and to make sure that schools are in line with the Competition Act.
Well, schools reopen next week and this matter is still dragging on. What can parents do right now? Because some of them are going to have to go buy school uniform. What can they do practically to ensure that they're not being duped?
Well, Bongiwe, because it's the school governing body who concludes these agreements, the starting point for the parents would definitely be to approach your school governing body, inform them what you are unhappy about, and that's unfortunately it's not something that one can change immediately. If an agreement was concluded for a certain period of time, say for instance 2019 between the school governing body and the supplier, it's not something a school governing body can immediately end. Otherwise, they might be in breach of that contract. But that would be something to inform your SGB that you are unhappy about the high prices, that the school governing body should at least look at other suppliers to see if they can't get better agreements with better prices for their parents.
Well, definitely a thorny issue there as schools reopen. That was UNA van der Merwe, a legal officer for the Federation of Governing Bodies of South African Schools.